Here are four things that I believe that if men can learn from women, then it will really help them in life very much. Like every man, I have learned a whole lot. I learned a lot from Esther Villa's book, The Polygamous Sex and the Manipulated Man. Four things I believe that if men learn from women, it will really help them. Now, one, how and why women dress. Now, why do women dress? A whole lot of women may say, I dress for myself. I don't dress for anybody. But we know that in truth, they dress to actually attract a possible suitor. And so, yes, when they dress, how do they dress? They dress really good, very attractive. They fix their nails, their eyebrows, every single part of their body. They attach one touch or the other to it to entice, to attract, to allure. And that's great. It's very impressive. However, men have not learned that. And maybe because men were not raised like that. And so I'm saying that if men can learn how to dress very well, men may end up not really chasing women as they really do. As what really happens in the case of when you start taking care of yourself is that you begin to attract, not really chase. And so even though yes, it's still in us to chase, you still find yourself attracting people because when you look good, when you smell good, it attracts people to you. And so if men can learn that side, maybe yes, we'll begin to look as attractive as our girls look. And so in that case now, maybe we may find ourselves on equal lane. You get my point. Now, how women think. Women think about themselves most of the time. I don't want to say completely selfish, okay? But women think very, very selfish a lot of times when they think it is I and it is me. It is not that men themselves are not selfish, as I would say, but I often see men's selfishness as a selfless kind of selfishness. For example, if a man and a woman is in a relationship, for example, most of the times you find out that the man is mostly thinking about how he can help the girl, how he can try to push her up. How it's more about thinking about her. Not that he's really thinking about her only for her, but also for himself, which is why I call it selfishly selfless. You understand? It's a selfless kind of selfishness. But on the other part, the woman is more about thinking about herself, how she can advance herself, how she can get this for herself, that for herself, this for herself, in most cases, right? So I'm saying that maybe if men can actually do that one for themselves, because what often happens is that when the man now spends a whole lot on this girl, trying to help her here, help her in her academics, help her intellectually, help her financially, help her socially. She gets built up to the extent that she most times leaves him because he has built her up beyond his own level. And so, but if men can actually build themselves, just like as women are building themselves, men can also build themselves, take care of themselves in terms of education. They can improve in their educational side, intellectually, and then socially, and then even mentally in every aspect, and financially. It will really help men very much. And so I'm saying men can also learn this particular side, the selfish side of women. Men actually need it. I understand how we've been educated from a young age to think about others before ourselves. Yes, it's not like we won't think about others, but just like women, we should learn from them and it will help us. I think that is why oftentimes what happens is that when breakup happens, when after a breakup, men get drained really. Why? Sometimes you hear people after a breakup, they don't say that because I loved her so much. Most times you see they're angry because of the very many things they've spent, too much that they've invested. And that is because during the relationship they think more about their partner. And it always almost happens with men all of the time. So when the relationship ends, he finds out that he spent a whole lot. He has invested a whole lot and he forgot himself in the process. And so that is why the women find it very easy to move on, because when they check the balance sheet, they find out that they've not really spent that much on you. It's not like they didn't spend, but you spent more, and then they've invested more on themselves, and you've also invested more on them. And so if men can learn that one, it will help them. Now the third one is learning to have options. Options are very good. Women keep options. I have not found a single woman that actually is with a man and does not have options somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Even the most trusted chicks that I've met, they always have options somewhere around the corner. However, in men's case, I'm not saying men do not cheat. I'm not saying men do not look outside, but I'm saying men do not, they barely think about options, especially when they find somebody that they really like very well. When they meet a girl they really like, and then it seems as though this one right here is certain. Then you see, if they find it very guaranteed, they just invest and put all their eggs in that basket and invest everything. That's why in most cases, it is difficult for most men to move on. In fact, in most cases after breakup, some men never ever recover. And it is because they put all their eggs in one basket. But I'm saying that when you look at women very well, they keep lots of male friends on different angles. These men help them. Opportunities here, not merely like sex. I'm not even talking about they're keeping male friends and it could lead to cheating. That's not the discussion. Like these male friends offer them opportunities. And these opportunities continue to take them up the ladder. Unlike men, men just meet a woman and then she seems promising and then he sticks to her and then disconnects himself from every other female. But they forget that female friends also offer opportunities. A lot of my female friends have supported me in very many ways. They still support me till now. And so female friends are very good. But men just cut off all of these ties, and at the end of the day, it ruins them. So I'm saying that we can learn from women. Women always have plan B. Some have up to plan Z. And it is not a bad thing. It is their clever instinct, and it is very impressive. I always say that I admire women's cleverness, and I'm imploring that men too can also learn from it and also apply it in their dailiness of life. And so the last one is sexual control. I think women have it. I think Esther Villa said something. She said, how do we explain? How do we explain that a woman actually loves you? She has feelings for you. She really truly cares about you, but can still withhold sex from you, with the aim of having something that she needs tomorrow. And then we wonder why women, how they manage to get that self-control. Although yes, we can trace it out to their upbringing, how they were raised from a younger age, from how they were constantly told, close your legs, you're a female, dress, cover up this place and all of that. And then how society judged them very much in terms of their sexual exhibition. And so women learned how to curtail that side of them, and also cleverly learned how to use it to advance their goal. And so I'm saying that men can also learn sexual self-control, sexual discipline. I know it's not easy, especially as I'm a man, I understand how it works in men's body. But here is one thing, and I think this will apply to the previous point I made. If you keep options, if you keep female friends, if you have friends, female friends all of the time, you have the ones that are very attractive to you, especially if you apply what I said in the first point. If you dress well, if you're attractive, your female friends will definitely crush on you. You will definitely have, especially if you're smart. When you build up the intellectual side, you build up your financial side, you build up your social side. Even if you don't really have money, even if your finance has not yet been built properly, women will still be attracted to you for the main reason that you look good, and at least you have good social skills. And so that is why I'm saying you should dress well, like I made in the first point. And so if you have more female friends, definitely you'll be able to actually have that sexual control. And I'll explain how. Now, this sexual self-control can come in place maybe in your relationship. You will find out that in some cases when your partner denies you sex, you won't go mad, and you'd be able to just take it with a pinch of salt, because probably you are having sex somewhere else, you're having more sex somewhere else, and she's not the only person. And when you're having multiple sex, for example, I'm speaking from experience, when I tend to have sex maybe like 2-3 women or 2-3 times a week, I can do without it for the next week, I'm saying, or I can do without it for the next 4 days, which means that if I have more sex oftentimes, I can even at some period in time pretend not to want it, you understand, or even not want it in sincerity, which actually puts me at an advantageous position, because when you look at the power game between men and women, you would realize that it is the most sexually active person that is most manipulated. For when you are very, very sexually high, it means that your partner can use sex to actually manipulate you. And so in that situation now, it means that he who has a lower sex drive holds the power. And so the best way to actually gain that sexual self-control is either maybe you can have multiple partners here and there, or just have more female friends, and then once in a while you get to hit. I know what I'm saying, you understand what I mean. And then aside that also, if you can, because Esther Villa explained that why men do not have that sexual confidence, or why it's difficult for men to actually be as sexually smart as women are, is because men were not trained like that. But she gave examples of men who were trained like that and successfully were able to adhere to that sexual disciplinary principle, which are monks. Monks are a very visible example for us to learn from, for us to see for ourselves that these monks have been trained from a very young age to abstain from sex, and they can do without it effortlessly. And so men can maybe try to also control themselves in that regard, and it will help them very much as they go in life. And so I'll leave you with this last statement it's an excerpt from Esther Villa's book titled The Polygamous Sex. And she said, "A man who wants to gain power over a woman must follow the example of women and condition his sex drive. If he succeeds in becoming as cold as she can no longer bait him with sex into the role of a provider. At most, she could offer herself as an equal sex partner, as dependent on him as he is on her. If men could abstain from sex at judicious intervals, they might even succeed in normalizing the female sex drive, or even make women desire them more than the other way around." And so that's food for thought, and I'll leave you with that one. These are the four things that I believe that if men can pick or learn from women, it should really help them very well. So let me hear your take and what you think about it. So I'll see you next time.